I do think there's something to that, you guys, about the control thing, and I don't mean that in a negative way, like that we're control free. I just think part of the wiring is that we don't like unexpected, like sensory things to happen, or we're not that's not. We'd prefer it if we can know what the expected temperatures and sounds at. Like, I don't find if the temperature and the sound and the feel of something or the taste of something I'm ready for and I'm in control of it and I can control my exposure to it, I'm okay with it. It's not like I hate every loud noise or sound. It's the unexpected one, or the one that if I can't control the environment. Like, we lived when Rachel was in grad school, and we lived in this little town outside of Chicago, and the winters were like 30 below, and the building, we couldn't control the heat ourselves. It was controlled by the building. And yeah. So, we lived next to a train tracks. Mm-hmm. So between the trains going by on just at all hours of the night, and I couldn't control the heat, I didn't know at the time, but it would send me into these 2-day meltdowns. And then we would later learn it was just because so now what's helpful about that, obviously, that we all know now, is that then you can take that information. And now in the apartment we live in now, we were careful to say, hey, what's the neighborhood like? Is it quiet? Do we have control over the thermostat? Like, you start to be able to take that information that used to send you into meltdowns and be able to go, oh, cool, this is now skills and tools to prevent that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like having a process. I think that's the key, because you're right. Because, like, sure, control is good, and not in a negative way, but like, it's just more of preparedness. I think that's the thing. Like, I'm very prepared of, like, like, I'm the one, like, so for quick pivot to speed dating and explain. So every time we have an event, I'm a lot of times the on-call guy. So there's kind of a method of, after going through like the pros and cons, like, all right, we're going to send these X amount of emails out. I'm checking these things. I'm like, keep an eye on, like, a big thing that's really a quality issue for us is like ratio, right? You might sell 40 tickets and maybe have like only like 2 more women and guys, but then for 2 checks up, you might have like 8 guys more than women. So there's a lot of these uncontrollables, and if not, then people get mad and like, I don't want a refund. And so that's a lot of balance. And I know my wife will tell me, like, she always feels balance, like an event night, like she knows I get more worked up. I've gotten better, but it is, like you said, is that prepared of like, okay, the more I'm more prepared, the less likely I'm going to have something happen, then I can enjoy my normalcy and not be like in this bent out shape about it.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's really helpful language, right? Like, the more, if people are looking for like coping skills, or like, well, what can I do? I think that's helpful. Like, how much can I prepare myself for where I'm going or what I'm doing, so that, I feel the same way. Yeah.
And it can apply to so many areas. Like, I feel like, the good and bad, like at a job, right? Like, whenever I start a new job, I don't know if any for you two, but it's almost like I overanalyze the position. Like, I'll read the Indeed ad. It's like, I don't know if I could be qualified, because I'm looking at it like I need to be the best fast worker on it.
Right.
And so versus like most jobs are usually pretty giving, as long as the good company to like navigate. Like, for example, the job I do for a 9 to 5, I work in like the customer service side of things, but for a life insurance company. And I never did anything like that before. I was always kind of retail or like some IT side. But so for me, it was kind of a lot of like, how do I learn about life insurance? And they're very learning, but like for me, I'm like, pressure's on. I need to know X, Y,
I have to know everything.
And then even just like customer service on the phone, like I did in person, but not on the phone. And I remember in the interview, they're like, oh, I don't think, you might take a while to learn that, but I knew I was going to crush it just from memorization of other stuff. And they're like, you sound like you've done this for years. I'm like, no, because I just mentally prepared when I listen to customer service phone calls as a consumer or other things. And it's just that remembering things. And so just prepared for everything,
Yeah.
And if not, you have like this mini panic, like, oh, I'm going to suck.
I know.
But now it's like, no, it's okay. But like,
it's okay.
It's hard. You put pressure on yourself to like make sure you're good at everything. Yeah.
And I know I hear that from you a lot, Gabby, right? Like a pressure on yourself to be a good mom and to be a good parent. Yeah.
That's why I'm just mind blown, because I feel like some people are like, oh my gosh, how does he do customer service?
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Totally. So I feel like it's kind of either like you either like it or hate it. Because I'm like, I've always just been a behind the scenes person. So like, never serving, like cooking in the kitchen, like editing, always like to be behind and just doing sort of that work, like the organizing and like all that, but not, I didn't want to be talking to nobody. So that's very, it's so interesting.
Even to get us to this point where we're talking on the screen and putting it on the internet, I think was a challenge initially, right?
Well,
For
it's
you.
like, for me, it's like, it's just uncontrolled. Like, it's, I know I'm talking to you, and even on like social media or like being able to have your own clients and stuff, it's just like, you know who's coming at you. But if you're standing at a desk and like all these people are coming, you don't know who you're gonna get and what you're gonna get, and it's just like that to me is just
terrifying.
Like, so how do you prepare for the next person if you don't know who that? Like it's, it baffles me.
I think for me, the reason that I adapted to it, because this is interesting, I think this ties back to lack of not knowing maybe what I had. There's that. And then also for me, when I was younger, I with my dad and grandpa, I would go on the road to do craft shows, which was a retail environment when I was like 11 in the summer. Like I'd work 3 weeks and I'd do the whole thing with them. I was like up in the morning, I was like bagging stuff. And then like if they had to go to the bathroom, I had to like sell. And I remember in those moments being nervous, not understanding it as a sixth grader, but like, okay. And then that goes back to the memorization thing. And that's why like I would just watch my dad do it. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna do it like that. Like, hey, how's it going? Like you get your chance. Like I had the whole thing. For me, again, it goes back to the survival thing. Like I almost wonder if I'm extrovert just by like situational, like being thrown into the wolves den, and whether good or bad or indifferent, not even giving two flying craps about what I maybe have cognitively. Like it was just like I was thrown into it. Like, okay, move to like a cross country. All right, boom. All right, you get thrown on airplanes when you're younger, and like this is pre 9/11 when you didn't have like the flight attendant. Like switch airports like that. Have. But like, there's different things that I look back to and I'm like, okay, I think I just got thrown to it. I was shitting my pants internally, and then I just went through.
But you survived it. Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, it's not bad.
Yeah.
And each block's always been that way, and it's just like, oh my god. And there's still hangups. Like if I ever have to do like an actual gig where I'm hosting, a lot of times with the events, I do more of the back end, which is great. Mentally, I feel like I work better that way. But when I have to host, it's like, oh my god, like people. And it's funny because like 1v1, I can crush it.
Yeah,
it's just like
in front of a group.
All right, and I've worked through that, or I still struggle with it, but I work through it. I'm like, okay, hopefully I sound okay.
Yeah.
But I know, like staring at a crowd of like 200 people, you're like, oh my god. But like you just sort of zone out and just sort of do what you got to do. But I think
that's
a lot
awesome.
of it is that survival piece. Whether beautiful or tragic, but that's kind of what I think it came from. Yeah.
Well, and like that's what we've had to learn to do, right? Like I feel like when you use that survival language, it connects to me, and you've you've said that, Gabby, right? Yeah. It is.
Like, and you're really good at it. Yeah. And you almost know that you're really good. Cause I'm the same. I'm like, hey, I'm pretty good. I was good at that. Is it draining though to you? Like, is it still draining? Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely can be. I think when it's draining is more of it goes back to when things are starting to go awry in that situation. So it's like, all right, I'm already like I have enough mental energy. I'm prepped to be like, all right, I'm gonna do like the social thing, shake hands, kiss babies. But then it's like, oh, like
if something goes,
I see.
Actually, a good example where I kind of had a meltdown once at one of our events was we had the like if you have people come later, right? You're technically allowed to check them into the software later. Well, anyway, for the most part, that causes a pure shit show. So it redoes the algorithm and moves people, and people don't want to move, right? They're comfortable in their space. So we had an event where like, and this was an older event, so people are more tech illiterate. It was a 35 to 55-year-old event. We had 50 people, and you're like, oh, you got to move.
Yeah.
And we had moved people 3 times. The software crashed. The rep we had for the software lives in Morocco. It's like, so he's waking up at 4 a.m. to handle the call. And it was one of those where like, internally, I'm like, I just want to jump off a bridge.
Yeah.
And I don't condone that's a joke, but
no, of course.
Realistically, you're like, okay, I had this energy of like, all right, we got to just handle the 50 people, get them through, let them have a great experience. And I was like, okay, no, now they think we're incompetent. Now they want either money back or stuff, and then they're probably never coming again, so that hurts the damage thing. And that's those moments where it's like when it becomes 8 issues. It's like that's when you shut down. Like I can handle the 3 or 4 that I came in prepared for.
Right.
I've gotten really good at that, and thank God I have that ability. But when it goes awry and it's not just 1 blip or 2, it's like 10. That's when you like want to shut down. Yeah.
That
I
always
agree.
feels like
Okay, I'm
right.
jumping.
Same.
I'm
Okay,
jumping.
cool.
Okay,
All right,
bye.
cool. We'll
Bye,
catch you later.
Matthew.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, and I feel the same way because directing shows or working on the projects in Tanzania where I have to deal with a big group of people or talk to the village, and I'm with you. The same thing. I come in with a certain amount of energy, ready for as much as I can plan for it to go wrong. And then once we exceed that, I go into a danger zone of, at least now, I think like you were saying too, like maybe years ago, I didn't know the warning signs of approaching that danger zone and then what is coming. So
Mhm.
at least what's helpful now is having the information I have and understanding better, like what those warning signs are, so I can feel it coming, so I can plan better for, okay, I feel that coming, so let me maybe take a breath or a step back earlier than I would
Mhm.
normally, because I'm going to not want to get to that place in front of the village or in front of like 200 people. But then also afterwards, that's exhausting. And then I feel like I need to go into like hibernation for the rest of the day or night because
Mhm.
I'm out of energy. I'm out of gas.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's so true. And
Yeah.
for what you do too, it just that's you're impacting lives and like over in like in different country, and it's like that's a lot to coordinate.
Yeah.
Give yourself credit, with that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and it's taken a lot of years. In the early days, it was not as easy, and because there were so many unexpected challenges that were coming up that I just didn't know to plan for. And after 9, 10 years now, I can anticipate pretty much everything that's going to go wrong. There's always going to be a few things,
Hmm.
but also just having the information. I got diagnosed now for close to 4 years ago, and knowing what sets me off and being able to plan more for that and putting myself in a state of mind in advance so that I don't get to that meltdown level is just so important to have the information. It's just, it allows you to be, like you said, just so much more prepared.
Question I'll pose to you because you brought that up. Do you
Yeah.
think, and this could be something to good talk with the audience, because I only taking information from 30 years ago, right? And that
Yeah.
so much stuff has changed, and I'm just winging it, right?
Yeah.
Do you think there's a benefit as an adult, even if you know you have something, to get almost reevaluated with a specialist, just so you maybe even
Hmm.
know the more finite pieces and how to handle it? Is there a benefit you think for you
That's
when you did
such a
that?
good question. Wow, that's such a good question. I I feel like the answer is yes, because as you know, I mean, our brains are just we're not the same person we were when we were a child, and I'm such a different person. I've become someone who, if I bumped into someone who I knew 20 years ago and hadn't seen since, they would say, this isn't the same person at all, you're lying, this isn't Michael Herman. So I just wonder if when you get older, if you might process the information differently, and potentially, given how much more awareness there is now and much more study going on, that I wonder if that would be helpful. But also at the same time, I don't like to, I feel like there's this big shame around. You hear a lot about people saying, oh, well, no one respects the idea of self-diagnosis or self-awareness, which I think is bullshit. And I don't like that idea at all, because I think that just makes it even harder for people who feel like something's going on to like really understand who they are. So I don't want to say, like absolutely yes, you should go get reevaluated as an adult because you
Right.
need that. But also I feel like if you can, it's helpful. But also, like, if you like Rachel says, and I don't know if she says this, I forget where she got this, but like, or she just came up with it herself, that no neurotypicals aren't sitting around going, I wonder if I'm autistic. You know what I right?
Yeah, that's exactly true.
Right. So
Yeah,
there's that, like if
literally.
you know,
Yeah.
like
Like,
don't
I
doubt
think
it.
you know that something's up, but what is it, right?
Yeah, what is it? Right.
And like, is it an Asperger's thing? Is it
Right.
autism? Is
Right.
it whatever people
Yeah.
have cognitively ADHD or yeah.
Sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just, as knowledge is like just is awesome, and the more you can get, and whether it's on your own or with a professional. I mean, we,
Yeah.
like you said, we didn't have the internet when we were kids like we do now, and
Hmm.
and we couldn't know what we know now. So you do have a lot at your fingertips that I think is helpful, but also like, if you can afford it or your insurance covered or whatever, and you can get an actual diagnosis. I just think for me, it was such a great it was one of the greatest days of my life, getting that information as an adult. And I think Rachel would agree that it was probably the greatest thing that could have happened to our relationship, because we were able to then understand, because our relationship, that diagnosis cuts us in half. It's like we went half our time together not knowing, and now as much time knowing. And it's like, shit, man, like, amazing what it's done to our relationship since knowing. So yeah,
Yeah, just the communication piece of knowing, like, hey, I'm
right.
going through. It's not anything you're doing wrong. Because imagine how many arguments happen if you're not aware, and it's like, oh, he's just being an asshole. It's like, no, like they're going through something, or she is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just having that information for everyone involved. It's not just for you, it's for your spouse, for your friend, for your family, everyone around you. Like you said, it's not necessarily what you thought it was. It could be this other thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sweet, man. Well, this was, I know we went a little long there, which was, if you put
Yeah.
three autistic people on a call, like, what's the chances it's going to end on time? Pretty much zero.
Yeah,
Right.
no, and as long as it works for your guys' format, I don't want to
Of
mess with anything
course.
there. I mean, I've done
No, it's awesome.
podcasting in my past where, like, I had a guy on, I love him. He's a guy I know locally, he's a musician, and we went 3.5 hours. I'm like,
Holy shit.
he knows stories for days. Like, he's done, he played like South by Southwest. He's gone to Norway and like Asia to perform in like punk bands, and
That's cool.
yeah, but he's an arcade enthusiast. It's just super interesting.
Sweet.
See conversations go. Yeah, so
No, it's
be
awesome.
natural, and then you just cut what you think is like the dead air spots.
Our goal with this was to really put the whole thing up, like, if we can, because we want it to be, you see so much content that's edited, and you wonder what you're missing. And for us, is very much about being authentic and genuine as much as possible, right? There's certain things we gotta, but yeah, this was awesome. This was amazing. And like, I'm so glad we got to have that conversation, that you were down to do it. I feel like we also should hopefully entertain the idea that this shouldn't be the last time.
I would love to do this again. Yeah, no,
Sweet.
absolutely. Or anything I
Cool.
can do to help you
Sweet.
guys with getting the word out on this, I think
Well,
would be
and
really great.
same too, on the other end, if we can help in any way with the speed dating stuff, or with any of the other stuff, absolutely. Because why not use all of our reaches in our different circles to help each other out? So for sure.
No, that'd be amazing. I think it's really cool, and hopefully that for people that want to try anything like connecting, I'll do the one quick shameless plug here.
I was going to ask you to do it anyway.
Yeah,
so yeah,
of course. Yeah, so it's Wingman of the Year. You can go find wingmanoftheyear.com, and we have events in a lot of areas. Like I said, we're about 6 states, so we have like the upstate New York area, like in the capital region, Albany, but we also do stuff in like Springfield, Mass, in Worcester, Mass, the Hartford, Connecticut area.
Cool.
My business partner now lives in Florida, so we have events in like the Ocala, Gainesville, Tampa areas.
Amazing.
And and Alabama, and then Vermont too. I live in the Rutland, Vermont area.
So mostly right now on the East Coast.
East Coast, yeah, love to expand.
Cool.
It's just really great. And then obviously we have other content.
Social media. Can people find you on social media?
Yep, yeah, it would either be under Wingman of the Year or WOTY official, WOTY, and official like is the acronym. So that's the best ways to find us. We have
Instagram, TikTok,
YouTube.
Yep. Cool. Sweet.
Yeah, we try to cover all our bases. So.
Cool. Well, when we put this up, when we put this on YouTube, and when we clip it into all the social media stuff, we'll make sure to tag all those accounts if you want us to. We can tag all that stuff. And then we can start to cross pollinate everybody's audience. That would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think this is wonderful.
Cool.
I really, it's great knowing you more on this level and everything.
Same.
And